Hey there folks, Chumpesque here, bringing another audio commentary, and today we have a game between Happy and Grubby. This is from the the Warcraft Invitational. This is actually the finals, and it's a double elimination game, and actually Happy is in the dominant position here. I think yesterday Happy and Grubby played, and Happy actually knocked Grubby down to the losers bracket, which was very surprising. Happy then went on to beat Thorzane, and then Grubby beat Thorzane again. So Happy now has to win one best of three, whereas Grubby just needs to, or Grubby needs to win two consecutive best of threes against Happy to win this competition. And first place, I believe, is $5,000, and second place is $2,000. So certainly there's a fair amount of money in this for both players. But us coming first, it's very important just in terms of for $3,000 is a lot of money. Both of them have been guaranteed a spot at BlizzCon though, which is sort of which is as valuable basically because it's BlizzCon is just such a high-paying event, and it's so guaranteed to pay out and everything. And it looks like Happy is gonna be going for a standard build. Happy oh sorry no, he's gonna be going for a ghoul build with late fiends by the looks of things, and that's not too uncommon. But Happy doesn't really change up his builds too much. He's technically sort of an excellent player, but what we tend to see from him is he plays very similar strategies all the time. And I assume we're seeing a Blade Master. Yeah, we are seeing a Blade Master from Grubby here. No Farseer, which would be sort of possible actually on this map. I mean, Farseer is alright, but I think Blade Master is certainly the better hero here, just because of those items, especially against Undead. You can go and possibly try and creep out some of their side, maybe just try and steal some of the nice items, and that's just so annoying for the Undead. And Happy actually scouting with an Acolyte, which is something that Undeads have been doing less and less these days. But I think what he wants to see is firstly what hero Grubby's going for. He's seen the Blade Master, he definitely wants to get out of here. And secondly, if he can save that Acolyte, it's so nice for a shade. Look like Happy's actually willing to sacrifice it though. Actually gonna try and get down to the creeps, and he does. Very nicely played there by Happy. And the other point of that, as you can see, is he's wasted a lot of Blade Master's time. This Death Knight will be able to run in and possibly steal off at least one creep, but it looks like Grubby's right on top of things. Obviously these two players will know many of their opponent's tricks because they were in a team for so long together. Obviously Happy not in a team with Grubby anymore. Grubby going back, selling his TP and buying a bunch of items, and actually getting a Ring of Protection as well, which isn't the best item in this situation. Grubby, you can see, just trying to put some damage on that Death Knight, because Undead has terrible healing for the Death Knight pretty much always, at least until you get statues, and just for anything until you get tier 2, basically, it's so hard to heal, because mana is just so valuable on your Death Knight. Looks like Grubby trying to psych out Happy, pretending to windwalk around, or pretending to run around the corner, but then windwalking and moving back. And so Happy now noticing this presumably, and I wonder, looks like Happy isn't going to scout out this camp. Maybe he just saw there's one ogre. Obviously creeping out that ogre camp would be an obvious choice for Grubby, but it looks like instead he's just gone back to his base, and will just be creeping out the rest of this camp. Meanwhile, he has started his tech to tier 2, and I imagine Happy has started his tech as well. Yes, he has, and he is a bit behind, but that's understandable because he is going fiends. And I think there's a couple strategies that we could be seeing late game from Happy here. I mean, obviously Banshees has been really popular, but also the sort of just mass fiends with a couple statues, and then just superb micro, maybe getting burrow. That's been really popular in recent days as well. Looks like Grubby's actually finally going to creep out this ogre here. Obviously it's a brilliant camp to creep out versus Undead, because there's just so many good items you can get. Really all the items are actually pretty good in this situation, because unless they get destroyers, even the Roar Scroll is actually going to be alright, and stealing mana off a Death Knight's always nice. So the two sort of items which are traditionally bad are actually alright in this matchup. And looks like what has Grubby picked up? Grubby's picked up a Potion of Greater Mana, very nice for his second hero, which it's most likely going to be a Shadowhunter, but against Fiends, a Torn Chieftain is viable, because that stomp is absolutely amazing. Looks like I'm Happy now scouting out what's going on, and you see Grubby doesn't want to attack that skeleton, because Happy will just aggro the creeps, and Grubby will take a whole bunch of damage on his grunts. And it looks like Happy continuing to harass, hasn't hit level 2 yet, must be getting close to tier 2 by now, and Grubby's probably getting up to tier 2, and will probably be, well, actually we'll have to take a look, because Grubby could be going to tier 3 immediately, or he could be running off a Spirit Lodge. That's what he's doing. Obviously a Bestiary is pretty much essential. Really interesting placement of this Bestiary. Obviously this is a brilliant place to put burrows sometimes if you're worried about defense, but since we're not likely to see a tower rush, because it's undead, and sort of undead only has a couple windows for tower rushing, and both of them have basically passed now. It looks like Grubby's happy to put his bestiary there in what's quite a safe position. It'll mean his raiders can definitely get out easily. They won't be stuck in the back of his base or anything embarrassing. And it looks like Grubby's going to creep out this camp, getting him a bit closer to level 3. Meanwhile, Happy has now hit level 2. And can he only have one fiend? Looks like Happy's gone really fiend light. There's the second fiend there, which is just finished. And I think he's putting up a slaughterhouse as well as getting a lich. And yes, he is getting a lich. Very, very standard play from Happy. Obviously, as I say, Happy unlikely to surprise us with some massive, crazy strategy. Much more likely to be playing just with perfect micro. It looks like Grubby's going to hit level 3 now, and that's going to be very, very nice for him, because it means he will be able to harass with his Blade Master just as a Shadow Hunter comes out. And just Gloves of Haste actually for Blade Master as well is going to be pretty nice. Grubby actually dropping the scroll of speed, obviously much more valuable to have that on your army, so they can get away, whereas the Blade Master can pretty much get out of any situation quite handily. And this Lich is now out for Happy. We're going to have to see what he transitions into now. He does only have one ghoul on lumber. Can that even be right, or has he pulled them to his army? Yeah, it looks like Happy's actually pulled a ghoul to his army just because he's worried a bit about an attack right now. So it would be a good time for Grubby to attack. So having that one extra ghoul would be very, very nice against those against the raiders, especially in conjunction with frost armor. That's a pretty good choice there by Happy. I guess he's not planning on needing lumber, which is a bit odd. And Grubby actually scouting out with one peon. Quite nice thing for him to do here. And it looks like Happy's actually going to be pushing a bit now. No sacrificial skull, so it's not going to be a serious push. And obviously he doesn't even have his first statue yet, which is a bit surprising. But I think we will just be seeing Happy seeing how much damage he can do. Obviously, as I say, just gonna be microing this perfectly. Happy is just so fantastic at microing. Grubby caught out a bit here. He has been creeping out this camp, and so a couple of his units are low. But getting a pendant of energy is so nice for that Shadow Hunter. Very excellent for Grubby. Meanwhile, I think Grubby must have sold that potion of greater mana, which is a bit surprising. I can't see a situation in which he would have used it. So we will be seeing slightly fewer heal waves and hexes, which is going to be very nice here for Happy. But it looks like Happy just trying to trying to stay out of the fight, whereas Grubby's trying to find it, and getting that one in snare is so critical, because Happy can't afford to sacrifice a fiend and getting out of here. But you can see this frost armor just so effective. Grubby unable to dispel it all, using a speed scroll, and actually, oh wow, Happy being unable to, or burrowing there, and saving his one fiend, and you can see just continuing to use this frost nova to tremendous effect, even though this Lich is only level 1. It's just so much more effective than level 1 Nova. Grubby losing one grunt here. It looks like Happy's finally going to lose a fiend, getting a crit off actually as well, so Happy didn't have a chance to burrow or anything. And this, I'm amazed Grubby hasn't tried to focus down the Lich, considering that Happy has no mana on his Death Knight at least, and this one statue coming in but immediately getting focused down by Grubby. And I wonder if Grubby's going to go for the second statue now. Happy actually doing some very nice micro here, but Grubby just keeping all his units out of the battle now that he knows he's in a bit of a bad position. He just his units would be so easily focused down now, and you can see Grubby just waiting for that perfect surgical strike. He comes in, he actually heals up as well, and it looks like he's gonna lose one grunt, but he's gonna kill a statue, and so that's definitely a trade worthwhile. Oh no, it looks like that one grunt might just get away, assuming Grubby remembers to micro it. It looks like Happy does TP out of here eventually, and actually gets a whole bunch of units out of there. Very well micro there by both players. I think Happy did a bit better micro, but actually quite interesting here. It looks like Happy has actually gone for this Temple of the Damned. Really surprising that Happy can afford that, considering he basically doesn't have a whole lot of lumber. He now has a couple extra ghouls actually. Maybe he rebuilt them later on, because you do need a whole bunch of lumber to try and afford this strategy. And it looks like Happy is going to be actually tanking, as you can see on his Lich. That's a pretty sensible thing to do, because it's the best armor, and then you can just heal it up with your Death Knight, assuming you have some statues actually, which Happy doesn't have at the moment. Grubby meanwhile coming in for the Creepjack. Will he get any kills? Going for the Banshee instead. Very nicely micro there. Oh sorry, I thought Happy had actually got the curse off before, yeah, but it looks like he didn't actually, so I take that back. Fortunately, Happy did miss out on that. It looks like Grubby could try and steal off this one kill. That would be absolutely huge if he could, but Happy willing to use a coil just to get that kill. Very worthwhile, obviously. And it looks like Happy probably aware that Grubby's gonna be around at least. And what are we seeing from Happy? Are we seeing We're just seeing more Banshees at the moment. Obviously, you do need to get up sort of a critical mass before the Banshees actually become quite effective, because otherwise you can just sort of dispel the all the curse and just ensnare all the Banshees until you get sort of a critical number, at which point the strategy becomes very, very strong. It looks like Grubby trying to get a creep jack in here before too many Banshees or even another Banshee comes out, and looks like Grubby actually taking a lot of damage on his Blademaster. Will be able to heal it up and with his Shadow Hunter, and you can see that Blademaster now just basically back to full health from being very, very low, and Grubby managing to single out this one fiend, but just between Coil and Frost Armor, it's just so strong against Grubby's predominantly melee army, and Grubby just trying to put down the damage, but basically unable to, and Grubby taking a lot of focus on his Blademaster. Will need to run it out of here, and at that point Grubby's units will just be so vulnerable, and I'm not sure if Grubby decides just to pull back, and Happy didn't lose any units in the latter part of that battle. Very, very nicely played there by him, and Grubby actually coming back in with his Blademaster being so aggressive. Grubby's Blademaster taking a lot of damage and it goes down, and so Happy definitely in a strong position, taking down another Grunt as well, and it looks like Grubby's definitely going to get speed scroll out of here. That was so ambitious there by Grubby. I'm not sure if he thought he could get a Windwalk off at the last second, or if he would be able to get a healing wave, which he couldn't quite get, but that was very, very ambitious of Grubby, and it just didn't pay off. But you do have to risk it occasionally, and it looks like Grubby immediately going to buy back his Blademaster. Obviously you basically can't play without a Blademaster's orc. If you've gone for a Blademaster, it has to be back out, just because you put so much investment into that. And it looks like Grubby going to try and focus down this Death Knight now. Obviously it can't be coiled, so this is pretty tricky for position for Happy. Meanwhile, that Blademaster getting very low again. Grubby using an invuln pot though, which he did just by. And it looks like Grubby going to take a bit of damage to lose one Raider there. But this Death Knight really needs to get away now. Death Knight actually, and Blademaster gets Nova'd again. And Grubby loses Blademaster for a second time. Happy now in a really bad position. Grubby in a really bad position. Happy just needs to keep this Death Knight alive, and this game could well be his. Very, very nicely played here by Happy. Focusing down that one Kodo as well. This is really not a good position for Grubby to be in at this point, and it looks like Happy could go shopping. It's just a bit of a risk because these Raiders could catch him out. Looks like Happy might just be able to get away as long as he doesn't get hexed or anything. No, he does manage to get away and actually goes for a coil there, but doesn't quite kill that one Raider. It's pretty close, but you do just have to tell that by eye. You don't have time to sort of click on it and check, and unfortunately Happy was just a couple hit points shy. And it looks like Grubby is going to be altering back his Blademaster this time. Just too expensive with the cost of this tier 3 tech. Just too, it's so expensive to buy back your Blademaster twice from the tavern. And it looks like Grubby has a whole bunch of lumber. A bit surprised he hasn't been bringing his peons in and spirit linking them, but I guess he doesn't have too many spirit walkers, and he wants to be using lots of his spirit walker mana on Dispel to get rid of that curse. And also skeletons and all, and frost armor and all that stuff. And so Happy with his huge army, going to go around stealing some of Grubby's creeps now. This is so annoying, just because it's going to mean that Grubby's going to be able to creep his Shadow Hunter much worse, and it's really just going to cause him a whole bunch of problems. Shadow Hunter is level 3 though, does have that pendant of mana, which is so nice, but at the same time Happy is now 4-3, really strong hero levels, and has a TP, really very well equipped, and you can see Happy even using a dust there. Clearly he at least notices a possibility that that Grubby's taverning back his hero, but at the moment Grubby just sort of so neutered, really unable to do much of anything, just needs to stay very defensive, just try and get his Blademaster back, try and get maybe a lucky kill, something like that, and then that might bring him back into this game. But at the moment Happy in a very strong position, and it looks like Happy building a second Temple of the Damned, so we're finally going to be seeing Possession. Actually, yeah, Possession now just being trained. I'm surprised Happy didn't go for that earlier, maybe because he was going for such a sort of a fiend heavy army sort of in this mid to late game. He just couldn't afford it, but it's really nice to have that Banshee training, because it means you can have fewer and just get the curses off, even if you don't want to go for the Possession, which is sort of understandably risky against a predominantly Raider army. And it looks like Happy just going to continue to creep at this point. Probably could be taking some bigger creep, but at this point this Blademaster is back out, and actually Blademaster coming in basically straight to Happy. Really nicely intuitive play there by Grubby. And it looks like, is Grubby going to come in straight for the creep jack, or is he get away a bit? No, he's coming in straight for the creep jack by the looks of things, and Happy could get cut out a bit here. We'll have to see. Obviously he does still have that TP if it really comes down to it, but it looks like Grubby coming in here, going to be able to do a whole bunch of damage, and Happy going to try and finish off this creeping and then TP out, and it looks like he will actually move his Lich around just so he can pick up the item at the last second, and fortunately for Happy, he only lost one statue, which isn't a huge loss at this point, and considering